Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Amy and today I have got a restore haul. So what is a restore? Well, from what I can tell, it seems to be a lot of people make donations there, perhaps even a lot of teachers donating old supplies that they had too much of or didn't need. And I don't know if someone like I could make donations there too, probably, but it's like a creative reuse store where the one that we go to, you can fill a paper bag and pay $15 for whatever you can fit in the bag. They do have some things that are priced separately, like books and some nicer items that you do have to buy per item or pay per item, but everything else, it's whatever fits in the bag you get for $15. So Jason and Galia went there and last Saturday, and I didn't go because I didn't have enough time. We were like doing finances in the morning and I didn't have enough time to shower, yada yada yada. And so they went, and we're already in the can't buy anything new unless it's with our allowance money kind of thing. So when Jason got home and he said he had gotten me a few things, I said, well, how much do I owe you? Because I do have my allowance and I want to make sure. And he's like, that's okay, I'll get it. You know, it's only $15 for the whole bag. And he got a bunch of stuff too. So I was like, yay. So let's take a look. And we have gotten very good at packing a bag so that you get the most for our money kind of thing. But yeah, this first thing, so somebody somewhere tried to sell it for $6.99, but somehow it ended up in the reuse store. And he knows I love bright colors against black, and it's a little, the embroideries maybe a little bit worn, or grungy's not the right word, but maybe, because it's not as bright. Like this is not as bright as this, but isn't it pretty? I love it. And with Halloween coming up, I thought this would be a cute purse. It's got a zipper on the back, and then it just snaps closed. But it does, oh, it's got a price tag in here too for the same $6.99. And it's American Bling, but it's got a zippered pocket in here, and then otherwise that's pretty much it. An adjustable strap, so nice. Now this, okay, this maybe didn't come from the reuse store. I don't know now actually where this came from, but Barnes & Noble sells these, and I've always wanted to get one, but at Barnes & Noble they cost way too much. So somewhere I found this. Maybe it was in an antique store. Or we also found a different kind of, like a USA resale store. So maybe it was in one of those. But I thought this would be fun if I ever do put it together, and then I could glue it and then cut out some of these to put in kits and stuff. I don't know, that's probably ridiculous because, well, hopefully it's all still here, but the pieces are pretty tiny. So I don't know, but I like doing puzzles. Puzzles are a great family vacation kind of activity. So maybe we'll just save it for one of those. But yeah, at Barnes & Noble, well, I don't know. It doesn't have, I thought maybe it would show the retail price on here somewhere. But it's Cavallini and Company. Yeah, I don't think that a cylinder is really a good shape for a puzzle, because you always got to look at the box lid when you're doing a puzzle, and with this being round, I don't know. Seems like that wouldn't work as well, but the puzzle still looks like it'd be cool. All right, got a ruler box. Nothing too exciting about that. And a lot of the stuff that's in these resale shops have been in garage sales before, is what I'm discovering, because this also had a little price ticket on it. But yeah, I don't have anything like this to store long things for if I wanted to take them with me traveling for some reason. So that's why I got that one. Sorry, I feel like I'm always like getting in peanuts down here still. So, all right, next. Now, I would have died if this box had been full of the cards that were originally in here, but he thought I would like the box anyway, which he's right, I do. But it used to have 100 cards in them, which would have been super exciting. Anything from the Royal Kew Gardens, Kew Botanical Gardens, I love all that stuff. So anyway, it didn't have the cards in it, but he also got me Flags of the World flash cards, which were kind of neat. So I like that. And that doesn't want to go back in there. Okay. And then some kind of Kmart for 88 cents, some vintage index cards, multicolor. Can you hear that? That's Peanut taking a bath. All right, let's see if I can get this fixed. But you never know what you're, well, just like any thrift store, you never know what you're going to find in one of these. But this one really feels like a thrift store. Like Goodwill, unless it's the bins, doesn't feel like a thrift store anymore because all their stuff is so expensive for what it is. Hey. And yeah, so this, you know, $15 a bag still feels like a good deal. All right, then I don't know how he got, well, I think the stuff he gets is kind of small. My stuff ends up being bigger because this is not, see all the different prices. But anyway, so there's this, I can't tell if someone made this, and it used to have, oh no, that's the, like, I can't tell if someone made this themselves or if you could actually buy it like this. But it's a Kleenex box, of course, and I don't have any Kleenex boxes for this size Kleenex. I have the ones for the cubes. And then he found me a bunch of lace trim. And he wanted some honest feedback of how he did. And I said, well, I like the lace, but I would have liked ivory better because that feels more vintagey. And he's like, oh, I think the ivory is so boring. So I was looking for colors because he's like, they had a ton of ivory. But I'm looking for some ivory to use in those paper clips that I'm making, those hidden paper clips, because I made one where I left a little bit of the paper clip still visible at the top, and so that I could put some lace through it. So I just have to find some. And then here's some lace trim with some pearls in it. Oh my goodness, you're so loud. And these aren't great, but they'll still work. But I feel like with crafting, you gotta be, I mean, those are dark colors. So I guess if they were on a light background, maybe it would work. We'll see. And then found a set of Cuttlebug embossing folders, which I have a Cuttlebug that I found at a Goodwill, and actually it was a decent price. It was only $10 because it was so old, but it still works fine. And I think I did have to order maybe one replacement plate for it. Like maybe one of the kinds of plates was missing, but other than that, it's worked great. So Cuttlebug, and I guess these are the different designs. So this feels very retro design to me. And of course this mid-century starburst pattern The hello and the bowling ones, but it all came together. So, and then some numbers, because who doesn't like numbers? And some Bosco Sticks bags. This is what I love about the Restore. Like, you wouldn't, I mean, unless Goodwill like bundled these up with something, they're not going to just sell loose Bosco Sticks bags. So I love them because it gives you a envelope, you know, to kind of work with. And he also found Beacon Street Cafe stuffed strips bags. So those were cool. So yeah, so these will be showing up when I finally start to do some of the junk journaling myself for you guys. You'll start to see some of these things pop up in things. And this is potentially going to be a very short video. And then I'll have a separate video with the antique stuff. All right, so then before he left, he was like, is there anything in particular I should look for? And I was like, well, I'm always looking for doilies, paper doilies in different shapes and colors. So he found me some hearts, which I think I've shown you guys these before from there, but he found some that were in good shape. The ones I found were like kind of crumpled and stuff. And then let me get these, put these together. So that's kind of different to have a pattern on there like that, but several of those. And then some gold ones, a little stack of those. Different gold ones, but only a couple. Then we've got some green. So see, he did a good job. I'm glad I thought to say something about some bigger hearts. Some kind of tie-dyed. These are like, there's just a couple of each of these. Oh, more of the gold ones. But yeah, I think they had a basket of doilies. And you could take the whole basket if you wanted to, kind of thing. So yeah, so I need, what am I gonna pose with? There's like not really any exciting things. There's a whole bunch more of these green ones. Should I just like, who can look so excited about paper doilies? But that's a really good stack of doilies. And then just a random sheet of stickers. Some like tray liners. I don't know, I think this is great because you could wrap stuff in this, or you could use it in a journal. I mean, it's all kinds of stuff you could do with this. And there's a pretty good little pile of them here. So I can't remember. So I just filmed, right before this, I filmed the Amazon video. But prior to that, I cannot remember how long it's been since I filmed, because I filmed several in a row. So I owe you guys a mom update. So we had a occupational therapist come, I think on multiple occasions, but I was only there for the beginning part of the first time that they came. And I'm pretty sure I told you guys about this one, or about that. But I guess she's ready to present her findings, and she's going to do that next Monday. Monday the, what is that, the 15th? What is next Monday? Monday the 15th. So Dad asked me to join in on the Zoom call meeting to, I mean, I think the idea is it still okay for her to be aging at home with Alzheimer's? Or has she progressed to the point where she needs more assistance, whether that's in the home or external assistance? I mean, from my perspective, okay, aside from the fact that she has Alzheimer's, she's so far doesn't appear to be a threat to herself or to my dad. And I'm just a nice neighbor lady, but I'm not a stranger yet. So that is, helpful. So I feel like, granted, I don't live with her 24/7. I feel like she's still okay at home. Now, my dad, I'm sure it drives him batty some days because of the repetitiveness of the nature of her disease. But I think in terms of concerns, okay, so there's hygiene concerns, but when I think about it, I'm like, but how bad is that? So, like, I don't know how to answer that, which I guess is why you have the professionals do their evaluation. But I've mentioned this before. It's probably been over a year since she's washed her hair. Now, nowadays, with all the girlies saying, don't wash your hair every day. Like when I was a kid, we washed our hair every single day, stripping all the natural oils and everything. And really, her hair does not look overly greasy. So I think that is a testament to the fact that it's got the natural oils from her scalp, because she's not washing those away, so I like, that's a thing you can like quantify. Okay, she hasn't washed her hair in a long time. She doesn't change her clothes every day. That's a thing that she could use assistance with. And I don't know if my dad lays out clothes for her or has tried to lay out clothes for her, or what. I think one of the caregivers that came recommended that, but my mom can also be very territorial. So she might not want people messing around in her closet, kind of thing. But I don't know. All those things seem not as important to me. I mean, because she's older, it's not like she's sweating a lot, and she doesn't smell like someone my age would smell if they went, had hygiene problems. So so I don't know. I just don't know how much value there is in dealing with or making those issues big. You know what I'm saying? But I guess Dad must have gotten the impression that there was something the caregiver thought I would be better equipped to help with. So I'm curious what that's going to mean, because if it's helping her take a shower, I don't think she's going to let me help her take a shower either. I'm a stranger. Like, I'm a familiar stranger, but I'm still a stranger. So I don't know. So I'm kind of nervous about what perhaps she thinks I will be able to help more with. not that I'm not willing to, it just makes me nervous. It makes me nervous. And I don't know. I just don't know. So that's the update. I guess I'll find out on Monday, and then I'll have to let you know on my first video that I film after that how it went. But I don't know. Part of me is like, just keep everything the same. But she doesn't like strangers, so there's really not much socialization that we can do anymore. I mean, some people don't present that way with their Alzheimer's. They're still friendly, but I'm from a family of introverts. We were never, none of us were ever the life of the party. And I feel like when people like that get Alzheimer's, they still like being around people and doing stuff, even if they have no idea who those people are. And that's just not us. So I don't know. And, you know, of course, the goal is to be happy and healthy and safe. So we all want that, right? But quality of life is different for, I think there's a different perception of that for everybody. So it'll be interesting to see. So yeah, I'm a little nervous about that, but it's just part of the progression, I guess. All right, well, back to the haul. There were some more doilies that I missed with the first batch. And then he found these big doilies, which I think these would be nice, like folded in half. Like folded in half in a bigger journal. That would make a nice signature page. But even cutting it, as long as you have some of like the center with it, whatever, like you could cut it into 6 pieces or whatever. But I don't know, it's kind of hard to cut these kind of things, right? Because then you end up with the little pieces that don't have any border on them. So I don't know, but I'm happy to get those. And then you guys, I'm dying with these. Look at these. This is, well, it's cloth. So I don't know if these are iron-on patches, or it looks like they've got well, it looks like they've got whatever the iron, not the batting, the facing, the back, I don't know, whatever this is, this feels like it's ready to iron onto something. So there's just a whole stack of these. So there are some duplicates. So I don't know, what do you figure the original plan was for these? Like, I don't know what you would need a bunch of the same things for, but I'm happy to have them. I'm working on my a new listing for my shop of scrappy bits, and these would be perfect for that. I'm gonna have 4 different size packages, but they're all the scrappy bits are gonna be 4x6 or smaller. So like a good kit to embellish with kind of thing. But these will be perfect to kind of go in that. Oh, and there's some scarecrows. Not very many of those, but 3 of those. Yeah, so it's mostly the daisies and the stamps, seeds. It's a seed bucket kind of thing, garden bucket. So, see, just random stuff. I love random stuff. And then Galia knows I like patterns, so she picked these out, but she didn't know that I prefer patterns that have illustrated covers, but I can still use these, so that's not a problem. but we got some baby clothes, and a lot of people, right, will use this as tissue paper, like for wrapping things. And if it has the instructions, then this also works great as paper for junk journals. So it's all very usable. But I try to look and grab ones like this that are illustrated and older, like maybe 70s or older, because I feel like those would be great laminated and then made into a junk journal cover. And it's amazing how many people wrote on their patterns or put price tags right in the middle, but these don't really have the price tag thing like the Goodwill ones would. Now this one's a cute one. I like this one. I wish you could cut out all of them, but of course it gets a little weird for the ones in the back. These are cute. This reminds me of something my grandma would have made for me to wear at some point. Do they have, some of them have years on them. This feels like late 70s, early 80s. But I don't see a year. And then Christmas. Now I do like the patterns for embroidery ones, because those are a little different. They're like iron-on usually, so they don't have the same tissue nature, but that's still cute. And then a bedspread. Although I do like old pictures like this. It's like looking at a old 80s catalog. But yeah, this one's 1989. Okay, let me see if there were any others of that same brand that I can get a year on. It's gonna be the only one. Well, this one's also 1989. Yep, those were the, oh no, this one's 1999. All right, so, but yeah, there, if you're a crafter, you already know this, but this stuff makes excellent wrapping paper. Very, you know, vintagey feeling and crafty feeling. I mean, if you're gonna go buy tissue paper from the Dollar Tree, buy that instead. All right, and then, okay, this did not come from the resale store, but I'm not sure where it came from. But, so, okay, there's an earring back in here. So someone used it for jewelry. I'm gonna use it for crafts. So I can put, actually, okay, so for my Scrappy Bits listing, I'm gonna have a petite, classic, deluxe, and collector size of each of those. And the collector size is gonna have 125 pieces to it. So just think, I don't know how many is on here, but it's front and back. So as I'm finding things for it, I could stick them in here, and it's got a super sturdy hanger. I wish this part turned, because then I know where I could have put it. But I've got a magnetic wall, or a wall painted with magnetic paint downstairs. And so I'm wondering if I could put a magnet hook, you know, one of those super strong magnet hooks, and hang this from it, and then just hang it there, because it is kind of heavy. But yeah, so jewelry organizer that I'm going to put ephemera bits in. And then last, but certainly not least, I got a set of placemats and a table runner. And Jason knows I like flowers and botanicals. And I was like, I mean, I don't know what he thought I would use it. You could use it for a journal cover, but I was thinking get my pinking shears and cut these out. Or maybe cut out a square of 4. Use it as a pocket on something. I mean, they're old. They need to be washed. They have stains on them, so it's not like I want to use them as placemats anymore. And then the back of them, you could use this material for stuff too. So yeah, so that's what I was thinking. I don't know if that's a... Oh, here's more. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. Let me know what you think. Okay. She's being a little feisty right now. She's like, I'm like, does it smell funny? Probably. So yeah, so there's aside from the puzzle and that hangy thing, I think everything else was in that $15 bag. So that seems like a good deal, right? Oh, and then this fell out. This cord here, which was probably someone's graduation cords actually, because, whoa, because here in my area, I think one of the local high schools is purple and gold. Not one of the high schools in my district, but okay, maybe I don't want you to chew on that. So, all right. So let's end with some nostalgic TV trivia. And we'll get everybody on their way earlier today. All right. Who portrayed OK Crackerby on OK Crackerby? Which TV show featured the dancing Old Gold's cigarette pack? Who played Samantha's mother on Bewitched? Who played Joe Friday on Dragnet? What was Lee Major's first TV series? On what series did Chad Everett play Dr. Joe Gannon? What kind of dog is Scooby-Doo? Who was the first TV animal named to the Animal Hall of Fame? Oh my goodness, you guys, this is a hard card too. Who portrayed OK Crackerby on OK Crackerby? I don't know, so I'm just going to say OK Crackerby. Which TV show featured the dancing Old Gold's cigarette pack? I feel like that would have had to be like a variety show or something. So let's say Jack Benny. I don't know. Was there a show called Jack Benny? I don't know. Who played Samantha's mother on Bewitched? Okay. I used to have all those people's names memorized for some silly reason, probably because I saw them all the time. That was one of the shows I would watch after I got home from school. So Elizabeth Montgomery was Samantha. Then we had Dick York and Dick Sargent were Darren. And Larry White. David White was Darren's boss. So this lady that played the mom was a famous person, and she, I think, was in the radio show Dial M for Murder. What is her name? Oh, I can't think of it. I don't know. I'm going to kick myself when I see it. Who played Joe Friday on Dragnet? You guys, I don't know. And I just saw a different show spoofing him the other day, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure I even looked it up at that point. What was Lee Majors' first TV series? Well, I know he did The $6 Million Man, and he did that other show, Fall Guy, after that. But was The $6 Million Man his first show? That's probably not right. Would he have been like on a Western or something before that? I don't know. I'm going to say The $6 Million Man, but it was probably a Western. On what series did Chad Everett play Dr. Joe Gannon? Well, I just saw Chad Everett on an episode of Murder, She Wrote when I was over at my mom's. And I looked this up too because I was like, what else have I seen him in? Because I never watched this show. But now I can't think of what it is. Isn't that terrible? What kind of dog is Scooby-Doo? I don't know. I'm a cat person. Is he a golden retriever? Probably not. A lab? Like a brown lab? If it's one of those two, I'm counting it. Who was the first TV animal named to the Animal Hall of Fame? I want to say Lassie, the dog Lassie. But maybe it was Mr. Ed. Like, I don't know if there were, I mean, could it have been Willie? Was it? No, that was Free Willy. Gentle Ben? That's an old one. I guess it could have been, it says TV animal. Well, I'm hoping they mean a real animal, not like Bugs Bunny or something. So my answer is Lassie. All right, who played OK Crackerby on OK Crackerby? Burl Ives. Oh, and he's how I know Christmas starts, when you hear Holly Jolly Christmas. Once I have to hear his version, and then the Christmas season is officially started. All right, which TV show featured the dancing old gold cigarette pack? That was the original Amateur Hour. Who played Samantha's mother on Bewitched? Agnes Moorehead, yes. She didn't age well, although I appreciate that she aged naturally compared to how actresses are aging today. And I would love to know what some of these actresses would have looked like if they hadn't had a bunch of work done. But she got kind of craggly there at the end, but she was really pretty when she was younger. See, I'm just perpetuating the problem by talking about her that way. Who played Joe Friday on Dragnet? Jack Webb, yes. What was Lee Majors' first TV series? It was a Western, The Big Valley. And Chad Everett played Dr. Joe Gannon on Medical Center. All right. Scooby-Doo was a Great Dane. I'm sure they said that on the show, but you guys haven't watched the show since I was a kid. Well, I probably watched the movie, but whatever. And it was Lassie. Yay! So I got one. Got one. Well, that's better than yesterday. So let me know how you did, and be sure to do all the good things that you guys do with the commenting and liking and subscribing and all that good stuff. And thank you to my members. And yeah, so short video for today, but I've got one more to film, which is an antique haul. So stay tuned for that in the next day or two. And yeah, so thanks wherever you are, whenever you are. I hope you're having a great day. And until we meet again, take care of yourself. Bye.